Welcome to The Heart of Health Live. There's a place for modern medicine in your life. Learn to use it correctly by getting your toughest questions answered on today's broadcast. Discover modern medicine's strengths and weaknesses. Lifestyle medicine opens the door to optimum health and healing. How you live and what you eat can profoundly affect mind and body. Learn simple solutions to complex problems. God provides the ultimate healing we all desire. He wants us healthy and happy. We just need to understand His plan for our lives and live accordingly. And now, live from Studio 1A in Chattanooga, Tennessee, here's your Heart of Health host, Dr. James Marcum.
Welcome, everybody. It's so nice to see you once again, and I'm glad you're welcoming Heart of Health into your home. And if you happen to be skipping through the channels, stay on this. We have some great information. In fact, our guest tonight, Dr. George Graves, is with us. He's going to be answering your questions, and the way you get your question heard is go to our phone line. It's 855-644-3278, and you can leave your question. We'd be happy to jot it down, and they can bring it out to us, and we'll answer it on air, or you can talk to us directly as well. If you're those that use this modern texting, you can give us a text at 423-834-7307. And we're just so glad you've joined us, because we're going to learn something, all of us together. And thank you for being part of the HeartWise family. And you can join us on our website anytime at heartwiseministries.org, where we have lots of useful information to improve your life, to make you healthier. We also have a site there where we pray for each other, or if you want a healthy meal or even evaluate a meal for us, you can do that as well. I was recently traveling this week, and I took my wife out for her birthday. We went to Charlotte, North Carolina. We left the kids at home. My folks actually were grateful enough to take care of them, so we had a great weekend. And on the way home, I was in the Charlotte airport, and a beautiful lady came up and said, "You know, you're Dr. Marcum, aren't you?" I said, "Yes, I am." And she says, "Well, I watch in New York City every week. So if you're in New York City watching, we want to welcome you." And she says, "You know, through this program, I've been able to lose quite a bit of weight, and I now snack on almonds." And so these are just little things, little steps at a time that you can take. And we're hoping to leave you one step today that you can have better health. And Dr. Graves has a wealth of experience, and he's going to be sharing a lot with us today. So, give us a call. Our phone lines, once again, is 855-644-3278. And after break, I'm going to talk to George, and we're going to figure out how he ended up into medicine. So stay with us and send your questions in. You're watching Heart of Health Live.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
The Heart of Health Live is brought to you by HeartWise Ministries.
Body language. Without saying a word, it can tell you so much. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, the sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
The Ultimate Prescription by cardiologist Dr. James Marcum is taking the nation by storm. People everywhere are learning what living a healthy life is all about. If you're happy living a drug-filled, pain-filled, mundane existence, this book is definitely not for you. In this book, Dr. Marcum dives into modern medicine's strengths and weaknesses and explains how lifestyle choices can significantly impact your health. To get your copy, visit Barnes & Noble or shop online at Amazon.com. This year, it's estimated that 56 million people will die. Some from old age, some from disease, and still others from terrible tragedies. At HeartWise, we can't do anything about sudden death, but what we can give you is free medical information that will help you live a longer, more fulfilling life with less disease and illness. If you are interested, we would love to talk to you about our wonderful God whom we love and serve, who is with us even when we are going through heartache. If you have a medical question, or if you are just at the end of your rope, call us at 855-644-3278. At HeartWise, we believe in truth, love, and healing.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
We are waiting for your questions at our call center. We have our call operators, Christine, Martha, Dale are back there waiting for your questions. They're waiting for you to call 855-644-3278. And if we can't get to every call, just leave us a message or go to our website. Our website's heartwiseministries.org. Dr. Graves, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Now tell me, what got you interested in medicine through the years? Did you always want to be a doctor, or did you just decide to be one as you got older?
Things probably clicked when I was in high school. My dad has practiced medicine over in Dunlap, Tennessee since the early 50s. And growing up, people would always assume, oh, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a doctor. So I guess they plant the idea, but being around medicine that close, you see the dark side, or just the tough side where there's a lot of hours and the challenges. But when I was in high school, I read a book that was real influential, sort of similar to the book you wrote, but it did a great job just showing the potential of how if you like people and you like science, it's a real neat way to mix the two. And it's a way to try to impact people that's not just temporary. And so that's where I probably got sort of clicked my senior year in high school. So I think I'm going to try to aim for medicine.
Okay. And you practice especially a family medicine.
Yeah.
And I guess that's changed a lot. You know, it used to be from, they used to say from womb to tomb. And I guess your dad practiced much different medicine than you practice, huh?
Yeah, and we overlapped together. So it was neat to see the diversity. He used to always say it's family practice, like it's a specialty that contains everything that the skin contains. So you, and from cradle to graves, you definitely have a flavor. And he stopped doing deliveries just as I was starting to practice because of some dynamics and monitoring in the hospitals and stuff. But so anyhow, I didn't get to do deliveries, but we practiced together from 1985 to 2003 when he retired.
So you get to learn, I don't know if you're like me, Dr. Graves, but I learned more after I got out of school than I learned in school.
You learn something new every day.
So that's very interesting. Well, we have a lot of questions that are coming in. Our operators are standing by at 855-644-3278. And we've got some from our website. So let's talk about those. And this is a very interesting, and we get this question quite a lot, and there's a little bit of confusion. And as you know, at HeartWise, Heart of Health Live and HeartWise Ministries, we just give information. We don't sell products. We're here just to give you good information and go and verify it ourselves, because we're not selling anything. We just want to sort of meet your needs. And this question is a person that's interested in about vitamin D.
Okay.
And this person knows, how do I know if I need vitamin D, George? How would I know that?
Well, it's a great idea to go ahead and get your vitamin D level checked. It can be a little expensive, and I've been privileged to do a lot of vitamin D testing.
And that's with the blood test, right?
Yeah. Okay. For women, it's easier to find a justifiable diagnosis, but I've another topic for another day. I've been doing some advanced lipid testing that's been interesting, and they do vitamin D on a routine basis on that. And anyhow, it's basically the norm used to be 30, but from a lot of the specialists I have confidence in, they're saying 65 to 70 is the range you really want to be. Okay. And I haven't found anyone in that range that's not on a supplement.
Okay. Now, so they can get their levels checked. What does vitamin D do? Why do we need it? Why do we need it?
Yeah, it does lots of stuff, and it ties in the cardiovascular system more than I was aware of recently. It ties to definitely osteoporosis and bone strength.
Right.
One thing briefly that's intriguing with vitamin D is that it's first off, it's fat soluble, so you do want to be wise. If you start supplementing, then you definitely want to start getting some testing done. Right. It's great to get a baseline. If money's tight, after 12 to 20 weeks of being on a supplement, and I'm finding if If it's D2, they mostly need like 50,000 units a week.
Okay.
And for D3, I'm around the 35,000 for most people. But hey, work with your doctor to make sure in your part of the country, hey, some of y'all get more sunshine than Tennessee, and then we get a lot more sunshine than other parts of the world. So, but they've been surprised that a lot of people that are in areas that are known for their sunshine, how vitamin D is still quite deficient. So there could be some variation how much you need.
You know, that's interesting because we are originally made to be outside in the sun, and now a lot of people are inside. They don't get out. I know in the wintertime, I don't get out that much, and I supplement vitamin D in the wintertime.
And then, you know, sunscreens have their place, though, you know, the tendency is you're helping one thing potentially, and or that's another whole interesting topic, but you need your vitamin D. The sun can definitely take the D2 to the D3. And I would encourage people to do some investigation. I try not to be a stickler, but a good friend of mine's mom died, and they say CJ variant disease, and she, you know, was a hospital operator, but the closest she came to any medical treatment, and a piano teacher, just a great lady, and she died what, you know, may well be mad cow disease. So I was using some D2, and D2 is a great source, but most of it's in gelatin capsules.
Okay.
Gelatin is still an animal product, and from some brief review, you know, prions from the mad cow disease, they can be an animal beyond just the central nervous system. And from literature I've seen, it's actually like in the wool of sheep and the sheep skin, which is the main source for the typical cheaper D3. But I'd encourage them to do some checking and check into vegan D3 source. I'm seeing it selling for like $13 to $18 a month. And I mean, for a bottle of 60, that's gonna last people 2 months. So for, you know, $9 to $7, you can afford that.
And Dr. Graves, we know that vitamin D, which is a pro-hormone, is associated with, you know, helps lower the risk of depression, heart disease, lowers blood pressure, osteoporosis, all these good things. How might a person, would they necessarily have a symptom, or do you just sort of wait till they have a symptom to your check, or do you just check it to prevent them from getting the symptoms?
Well, preventions are definitely worth a pound of cure, because osteoporosis classically is asymptomatic till you got some major problems.
Right.
And then you have some chronic, you know, pain disorders and issues there, or at least acute disorders of pain that may well be chronic. You know, the heart disease, obviously, hey, when you have it, and you might live to talk about it, and you might, they might have you see your friends and family come together to support each other if you didn't survive that. So definitely smart to start monitoring and start checking it, and it just seems to be a very broad base. Seems to even help decrease pain from an understanding. So, and it's luckily seems to have almost no side effects. I've had a few patients not quite pay attention, and one person even did it twice. They took their 50,000 units in 8 days. They took that, which should have been 2 months. They took in 8 days, and they were in the 120 range. They actually had no symptoms relieved, but anyhow, so definitely you don't want to overdose, because it is fat soluble.
Now that's you know, we see this vitamin D3, you know, vitamin D deficiencies, and it's a big in anti-aging. You know, now they really want you to be on that for help the aging process. But what are some other, you know, supplements that, you know, what are some other things you see people deficient on sometimes?
Here's sort of the branch of medicine. When I first came out, people are all intrigued. You know, vitamin B12, want vitamin B12.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a placebo, but I'm really surprised to find how many people truly are deficient now, especially because of, you know, the H2 blockers and proton pump inhibitors. So whether it's the Zantac, Tagmich, which are good medicines, and Prilosec and the similar cousins, just a lot of those medicines are very hard to get off once people are on them, but it messes with the intrinsic factor and the pH, and a lot of people don't get their vitamin B12 absorbed because of those items, let alone a lot of people are having autoimmune processes because of what they eat, and they get antibodies against intrinsic factor. So it's not just vegetarians and vegans that are having vitamin B12 problems, it's a lot more people.
And you can check that in the blood too?
Yeah.
It's another blood check.
And a key thing, you might ask your doctor and all this stuff, make sure, spend some time with your family doctor or internist at least once a year for some general checkup. But you might have them ask for what's called methylmalonic acid and homocysteine. Those levels are high when your B12 looks good.
Good. Well, those are some great tips. And Dr. George has a website. You are Think I Am Too.
You are thinking.
You are thinking I am too. That's a great website.
Leave off the G.
We're going to be right back after this break.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
I'm Dr. James Marcum, and I talk to patients every day who want to know the truth in healthcare. On our website, heartwiseministries.org, you can have your questions answered. You can read my blog where I talk about interesting and controversial subjects in medicine. You might choose to go to the radio or television sections and learn more about all sorts of health topics. Take the time and go to heartwiseministries.org.
Meet Charlie. He's a normal guy with a big problem. You see, Charlie doesn't like to eat healthy foods, and now he's overweight and doesn't know what to do about it. Luckily for Charlie, he's found Weight Management by the Book. Weight Management by the Book is a complete weight loss solution that includes 7 DVDs with 5 hours of lectures, a workbook with over 100 healthy recipes, and an exercise band so you can exercise at home. Dr. Charlene McCullough is a nutritionist, author, and speaker, and together she and Dr. James Marcum talk about the practical ways you can manage your weight and do it the way God intended. As it turned out, it was the best decision Charlie could make because he was able to lose weight and feel great. So now that big problem Charlie had is no problem at all and has completely gone away. Don't you want to know how to manage your weight God's way? For a donation of any amount, we'll send you the complete Weight Management by the Book set of DVDs, workbook, and exercise band. But hey, don't take our word for it. Here's what others have to say about our program.
Weight Management by the Book was an answer from God.
I love that this program focuses on relationships as well as diet and exercise.
Thank you for giving me the hope to change and for doing it in a loving way.
So what are you waiting for? Visit our website at heartwiseministries.org or call our telephone number 855-644-3278.
Kids will spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
Well, we're waiting for our phone calls here at 855-644-3278. And our last section, Dr. Graves really gave us a good overview of vitamin D and some other things we should be thinking that we might be deficient on, like B12. And it's much better to have them checked, Dr. Graves, before you get into a problem. And your website, that's UR, that's capital UR, Thinking, THINKN, Is that .com? Is it going to be .com?
.com, yeah.
.com. Well, that's a great website.
It's under construction,
where
so it
people
should be up
can
soon.
gradually get in contact with you and know some things. Dr. Graves, medicine's changed so much. I don't know about you, but it seems like we just don't spend much, we don't have the time we had with patients at one time. It seems like everyone's rushing and more patients in a day. Now you see patients every day, don't you?
Yep.
So you know, so it's just, you know, go in and out sometimes. And sometimes I'm glad we have avenues like this where we can expound a little bit more. Sometimes in the office you just don't have time to cover all this. We have a question about a surgical patient, and he says, I'm having surgery soon. What can I do before the surgery to maybe help my body throughout the procedure? So what are some general things that we might be able to tell people before surgery? I guess any type of surgery.
Well, a big one, obviously, if they happen to be a smoker, you know, hope you had quit yesterday, but you know, stop now, and because that's going to help. Lungs going to go through a cleansing process, so it can be a little bit of a challenge, but don't let that keep you from doing it, because that can make a huge difference and complement, you know, the anesthesia, less likely to have complications. Getting something done, so it's a good time to just try to get a full tune-up.
Now, sometimes the surgeons don't pay attention to all the other medical problems too. You know, what are some of the medical problems that they should really be concerned about that they must tell their surgeon about?
Well, you know, first off, if they're taking any supplements, you know, drug interactions.
Right.
We're recently embracing, you know, the EMR to the next level, and a big push is, you know, drug interactions, and it's just amazing how many complex interactions we know about. And a lot of people have sometimes gotten frustrated with traditional medicine, and they're using supplements, and And most are pretty transparent, but some are a little embarrassed, or they just don't emphasize that. Hey, it's just a supplement. What's the big deal? And just be aware the average supplement has over 1,500 different drugs in it.
Wow.
So it's complicated just enough when people are on 3, 4, 5, or 10 or 12 medicines, all these interactions.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I had some contact recently with a gentleman who had done some life coaching with a gentleman that's big in the HCA system, and he was a pharmacist. And it was interesting hearing the comments is if you're on more than 6 medicines, I mean, it's toxic. You know, he was just well aware of that even years ago. So putting supplements in you want to be aware of. Obviously, if they're taking aspirin products to make sure, stop that. A lot of things do thin the blood, so be aware. I mean, some people take garlic pills or different things, a willow bark, and not, hey, it's natural. And people forget copperheads and rattlesnakes are natural too, and brown recluse spiders. It doesn't mean you really want to have close contact with them.
That's right. And the surgeon starts cutting and wonders why he can't stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about healing? Are there any things that they can do to really optimize the healing at the surgery?
You know, obviously good nutrition and something to probably pay more attention to. Probably put a bigger emphasis on organic foods. I was watching an interesting presentation on gardening, but just start showing how organic foods that are grown the right way probably do get a lot more of those trace elements and stuff. So a lot of patients don't eat fresh fruit or fresh vegetables with a meal, and I encourage people, really have something raw with all your meals. Almost always make up for it if you forget. Try to buy some organic. Got to be a little more careful. Wash them well because you tend to get more E. coli with some of the organic stuff, depending what they use for fertilization and stuff, or fertilizers. But in some of them, actually with some organic gardening, they don't really have to supplement with any much fertilizers because of the way they're grown. So good nutrition and a good attitude. If people are worried or fearful, fearfulness is a terrible thing in the body. If people are scared. So talk to your chaplain, your pastor. Yes, you don't have a chaplain yet, usually until you're at the hospital. We are trying to emphasize a chaplain in my office. It's something we've been experimenting with a little bit. Chaplain Bud's been a great guy. Good. But I think if they find someone they can make sure they have a peace about, because there can be complications from surgeries, and if they go in with that attitude of, hey, I had only fairly small complications, or hey, man, I had no complications, to be ready to not have the fear factor. That's huge. Lots, good hydration. There's a rare, unless your doctor says limit your water intake, and man, water's great, and just do your homework. Try to either get a good water purifier in your system, or if you like the bottled water, just be smart about how you get your fluids in. And plenty of rest. A lot of people burn the candle on both ends, so they're exhausted going into something that could be fairly major. So make sure they're not sprinting too much before surgery.
And one of the things I want to add to this is I think those are great, but sometimes people have active medical problems that aren't even being addressed before they go to surgery, like diabetes that's unaddressed, or having chest pains and whoops, or can't breathe well. I mean, it seems so simple, but I see that every single day.
Yeah, it's. I know I was doing an internship, and a close friend of mine's dad died, and he was fairly active, which is good. Activity, having good exercise that you enjoy is so important. If you don't enjoy the exercise you do, it negates a lot of it. But if they don't go into denial, if there's a chance that could be angina, hey, check it out now. It's better now than later, and so to prevent the loss of being at the dinner table with your family, and they have to grow up without that key family member.
Okay, well, I think that answered quite a few of those questions. So there's lots of things that you can do before your surgery, and hopefully we can take some responsibility on before we have surgery and do some things ourselves. We can't depend on the doctor to tell us everything and do everything for us. Yeah,
and a lot of surgery, there's urgent surgeries, and others, hey, maybe we can postpone this a little bit to get tuned up a little bit more. So there's check to see, it may be too dangerous to delay, and just say, but make sure they know everything that's on the table so they're less likely to get surprised, and then proceed. But make sure, and a lot of times, get your family doctor, internist to make sure get their opinion. Do they want to tune some things up before you go to surgery, or is it best to get the surgery taken care of?
Now, Dr. Graves, I know you have this website, You Are Thinking I Am Too. That's You Are Thinking, THINKN I Am Too. It's being built. What's going to be on that website?
Well, a number of things. I'm a huge visionary, so it's going to be fun to try to showcase, encourage some things we're trying to take off. Since I was in high school, I got intrigued with how waiting rooms tend to be boring places.
Yes.
And I was relieved going through some patient surveys because people wait longer than I prefer in my office, and I'm impressed they wait, but I'm hoping to have some resources that when they're there that they find about like HeartWise Ministries. You know, there's some great ministries out there that either help you in finances or your family, things to help deal with aging parents or deal with little kids, things to help your marriage. So I'm hoping to showcase some just amazing groups out there that people can say, hey, I'm going to check that out. So they hopefully will check out a lot of these ministries or great books. I enjoy people like Michael Card, does some amazing stuff. And you know, his stuff on scribbling in the sand and underneath the door is just an amazing thing. So you also YouTube that. I've had a hard time finding the introduction, but there's some great podcasts on underneath the door that helps bring some things together. They're just powerful both spiritually and emotionally for people.
This might be something that other doctors might even want to look into for their offices too.
I think it has potential. So someday you might see something and say, man, that came from Dr. Graves.
There's so much waste of time sometimes in the doctor's office. You know, if you can be educating or teaching them, because the time with the doctor is getting smaller. So let's reach out every way we can to help people do better.
And hopefully tie in some humor. There's some great Christian cartoonists. I like McPherson myself.
Yeah,
so.
well, there's a text in the Bible, a merry heart does good like medicine. Yeah. Well, we're going to be right back with Dr. Graves. We have some more questions. You can reach us at 855-644-3278. We're going to be talking about fungal infections after the break, so stay with us.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
HeartWise Ministries would like to invite you to take a moment and connect with us and share your thoughts and comments. You can join the conversation on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. HeartWiseMinistries.org will help you stay up to date with what's going on. And of course, you can always watch past shows on Vimeo.com.
Medicines That Kill from cardiologist Dr. James Marcum is now available. In his newest book, Dr. Marcum explains why he believes that medications may very well be the #1 cause of death in America. Medicines That Kill uncovers the hidden risks associated with modern pharmaceuticals and outlines the biblical plan for physical and spiritual health. To find out how to get your copy, visit our website at heartwiseministries.org or call us toll-free at 855-644-3278.
I'd like to think that one day, when we get to heaven, we're going to see a list of people like Jared and Susan, who were introduced to Jesus because of something we said, or maybe it was as simple as a passing smile. But these people will look into their past and be able to say, I'm here because of you. Recently, you may have heard that HeartWise Ministries has begun spreading the gospel to the young, the old, the sick, and the healthy using this very television program. But we need your help. We want to take this type of medical programming to the non-believer and the person who has closed themselves off to traditional forms of outreach. If you believe as we do and want to support HeartWise so that together we can count more names on the Tree of Life, please consider donating today at heartwiseministries.org. That's heartwiseministries.org.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
Well, the questions are flooding in, and we're glad you're sending them in. We're going to get to them right after we answer this about fungal questions. But I want to tell you first about an opportunity that you have to help HeartWise Ministries. As you know, we don't sell products. We're not making money here. We're one of the few programs in the world that answers people's questions live for free. And we do that every week, and we try to let people know the place for modern medicine, the place for lifestyle, and we also let them know that there's healing in that relationship they have with their Creator. So one way you can help us is if you go to the web, the World Wide Web, and go on to smile.amazon.com. You're going to hear more about that. That's smile.amazon.com. And if you choose Heartwise Ministries as your favorite charity, Amazon will donate 0.5% of your purchases. They'll donate to Heartwise Ministries. So a lot of people shop at Amazon. Well, it won't cost you anything if you just go on and designate it as smile.amazon.com and designate it your Heartwise Ministry as your charity. They will donate 0.5% of your purchases to this ministry so you can be part of our family and help other people, because everyone wants to be part of a family. And you can be part of our family by going to our website, joining us on Facebook, calling us. We're here to help serve you. We want to love you and not judge you. And here, Dr. Graves, is a question about fungal infections. And I think everyone's had fungal infections at one time. You know, I used to have gym socks that caused me fungal infections. But it says, do you treat fungal infections differently on different parts of the body? So I guess, you know, fungal infections on the foot versus, you know, in the groin versus in the mouth. Do you treat it differently, or is it all about the same?
There's a lot of similarities. They'll be a little unique depending where the location is. You know, if it gets in toenails, that's a tough one, and that's one you can go through. They're not always the most sightly things to deal with, but make sure is your liver okay, because there's things like hepatitis C that still can be obscure where people get it. Some are pretty obvious, so make sure if you go on some medicine like that, you have to be real careful about drug interactions like simple antibiotics. If you go to the ER because you have, or an urgent care center, and because you have a sore throat, maybe you have strep throat. And one brief thing on strep throat, a lot of people don't look for glomerulonephritis after a strep throat, and it's about 18% of people get some transient blood in their urine and can get some rise in their blood pressure. I think most of the times, I'm not a nephrologist, but a lot of times they do clear, but if you don't know you have a problem, you don't know if it clears or not. So make sure after you have a strep throat, if it's positive, see your doctor within, I say 3 to 6 weeks, to make sure that there's any blood that's being monitored. And if you have any rise in your blood pressure, that definitely is going to be hurting you. And we're going to watch for that. But as far as you know, the antibiotics, you know, if it's some reason you're allergic to penicillin, you're on erythromycin, and you're on an antifungal, that can be really hard on your heart. Another thing, so watch for drug interactions.
But they're asking here, do we treat different parts differently? So I guess the answer is yes.
Yeah, so if it's a fungal infection, you're looking at some interesting, like if it's pulse therapy and different things.
Between the toes, you know, that's going to be maybe a
spray
something
or over the counter you might be able to, you know, get by with, but you want to be smart because the fungus gets smarter, and if you don't change your lifestyle, what used to work doesn't work. So the big thing is try to figure out, why do you have it? What can you do about it? And just be smart about it.
A lot of people get fungal infection just because parts of their body stay moist, just drying out when it's a fungus.
And you know, one challenge that you know, is well known, we need to do something about as far as if you get overweight, that's going to definitely cause more skin just chafing on each other. So listen to what Dr. Marcum is sharing here, because he's got some great ideas I've been incorporating from just hearing some of your insights on just eating a little healthy fat before you start your meals, so you're less likely to overeat. And back to your exercise, try to find a community of people you enjoy exercising with, because they're sort of dependent on you. Because I was supposed to be playing tennis tonight, so this is a sacrifice to be here. And I just some great guys in our little Sequatchie Valley I play with, and it's hard to not be there.
Okay, well, we're glad you're here, George. And we got a call. Don from Oregon, you're on with Dr. Graves. Go ahead, Don.
My problem is I seen my primary care physician today.
Okay.
And I've been through a number of surgeries. I've been through 2 hip surgeries, and one of them got infected, the last one, and they had to clean it out. And ever since, and my legs been fluttering like some of these salmon. Like my legs fan, it just moves back and forth on its own. And I asked my primary care